Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. As everybody knows, money doesn't make you happy, but if you thoroughly want to fuck up your life, just run after money all the time. This is what Miller's play is about. Today's cast are Willy Loman, around 60 and a salesman of a New York company for which he is, in theory, cruising around New England and selling stuff, and he's got an impressive capacity for imagination. His wife Linda is his age, keeps the house together and loves her husband, although, or maybe because he's headed south of late, the elder of their two sons is called Biff. He's in his mid-30s and the parents believe he's worked on a farm in Texas during the last months. Happy is a few years younger than his brother, has a small job, a small apartment and a small car and, quote, every girl he wants, unquote. Charlie is Willy's neighbor and, by contrast to the salesman, a successful self-made man. He's got a thriving firm and a son named Bernard, who is a successful lawyer by contrast to his schoolmate Biff. Then there is Howard, Willy's boss, and a couple of side figures, of whom I only mentioned two, namely first, Uncle Ben. He's Willy's brother, and unfortunately he's dead, so he's an imaginary figure. He appears to Willy, who adores him because he's struck it rich. And then there's the woman, who doesn't have a name, but a past that tragically crosses with Willy's and Biff's past. The play is mainly set in the small house of the Lomans in New York, around which the real estate sharks are circling in order to build a few new apartment blocks here too. It is in the middle of the night and Willy gets home. Linda hears him and goes, "Willy, are you all right?" Yeah, all cool. I just had to drive home at walking pace. You got any cheese in the fridge?" "Yeah, tube cheese." "What?" And he sits down at the kitchen table and eats a little tube cheese, and the boys have overheard the conversation. By way of exception, they're both at home, and Happy goes, "He can't even drive anymore," and muttering all the time, "That's only because you didn't make it." "Well, I'm not a businessman. Why don't we buy a farm together? I can't run after money all the time." "That's fantastic. How much money do you think you can make with a farm?" "You know what? Tomorrow I'll visit Bill Oliver, who I used to work for. He's as good as a friend of mine. I'll tap him." Meanwhile, Willy has stepped out into the garden and is seized by a fit of sentimentality. "Ach, it was so nice when the kids were small and stealing footballs. We'll return it tomorrow, Dad. It's just for training." And little Bernard from next door would come over. "Biff's got to learn or he will fail the exam. Let him cheat, you little bugger. And remember one thing, kids. If you are popular with people, you'll never want anything." And young Linda comes by and goes, "Schmutz, there you are, darling. Did you sell anything?" "Yeah, I made a turnover of 200 all in all." And she goes, "Oh, great. Then we can pay nearly all the installments. It's just that the fridge is broken." "Just once. I really like to own something before it's broken. I'm so lonely sometimes." And on that cue, his memory plays a trick on him. "Hello!" And Willy goes, "Wah!" And Biff has to pull himself together or he won't get anywhere in the world. Happy fetches him back from the past and goes, "Let's go to bed, Dad." And he goes, "No," but then Charlie, the neighbor, comes and goes, "Good, I had a heartburn. I mean, with all the noise here, I couldn't sleep anyway. Want to play a game of cards?" "Yeah, okay, let's play cards." And Charlie goes, "You want a job?" "I got a job. I don't need a job from you." "I'm so tired sometimes, Ben." "I'm not Ben." But Willy has just seen his brother Ben and goes, "Ben, how did you do it to get so rich?" And he replies, "When I was 17, I went into the jungle, and when I was 21, I came out again, and by God, I was rich." "Cool!" And all the while, he continues to play cards with Charlie. "That was my ace. Why don't you go then, you jerk?" Charlie leaves. Willy drowns in his memory once again. "My Ben, what a hero." And this time it's Linda who tries to get him back and goes, "Let's go to bed, darling." "No, I'll go out a little." And the whole house is awake by now, and Biff goes, "What's the matter with him?" "It's always like this when you get home, dear, because you didn't make it. Why is it that you hate him so much?" "I don't hate him, but he's always treated you like shit." "Leave your father alone. He was never rich or famous, but something terrible is happening to him right now, to his head, and he's only working on a commission basis and doesn't sell anything." "What? Okay, then I'll stay in town, get a job, and care for you." "Of course, and then the two of you will fight all the time. He's dying. He's been trying to kill himself with a car, and in the cellar he's hidden a rubber tube for the gas tap. Oh my God." But Willy's in the kitchen now, and Happy tries to do justice to his name. "Here, Biff is going to Bill Oliver tomorrow to get a loan from him." "You don't say. You want to start a sports equipment shop?" "Yeah, that's exactly what we'll do." "Then here's some good advice from your father. Don't joke, right? And don't take less than 15 grand. And make a little joke to start the conversation off." And Happy fantasizes happily, "Yeah, and we'll have a sports team and promotional performances, and this is going to be a big thing." And merrily lying and dreaming, the whole family go to bed. On the next morning, Willy stands in the office of his boss, Howard. "Howard? Willy, I got a tape recorder." And he goes, "Oh, cool. Howard, listen, I need to work in New York. I can't go on driving around all the time. I don't sell anything either." Yeah, but we don't have jobs here in New York. And since you mentioned it, I've got to give you the sack because you don't sell anything. What? I've drudged and toiled for this company for 35 years for your father and all. I'm not a lemon. You can't squeeze me out and chuck away the peel. I'm not garbage. Yeah, you're right there, but business is business, and now you rest and recover, right? And this triggers another memory attack, and Ben appears. So how did you do it? Into the jungle, out of the jungle. And he dreams himself back to the time when Biff was a school football star. Yeah! And then he's at Charlie's office where the son, Bernard, is just visiting. Hello, Willie. I'm a successful lawyer and I play tennis, as you can see. Wow, why did you succeed and Biff didn't? Well, you know, when Biff failed the final exam back then, he could have just repeated it, but something happened and Willie goes, oh, and breaks off the conversation. Then Charlie enters and Willie goes, here, Charlie, can you lend me some money? I can offer you a job. No! Howard has fired me, but I can't work for you. I'm sorry. And Charlie's understandably pissed, but gives him some money. The boys are in a restaurant, meanwhile, and are waiting for their dad because they'd made an appointment with him. And Happy goes, so did you get the loan? Are you joking? He doesn't know me at all. That was just a big fat lie. I just stole a pen from him today. And Willie enters and goes, okay, I'm fired. The forest is burning. I want good news now for Linda. You got the credit? And he goes, you did? Fantastic. That's my boy. Then you've got another appointment with him tomorrow, don't you? And Biff goes, no. And this refusal to go along with his fantasy triggers another attack of memory for Willie. He dreams himself back to that hotel in Boston where he was having an affair with a woman a long time ago. And they were like, kiss, kiss. When there was a knock on the door. Wah, I'll go to the bathroom. And little Biff comes in. Daddy, I failed the final exam. Oh, no matter, boy. Pack my stuff. I'll talk to the teacher immediately. And the woman enters and goes, hello there. And Willie, this is, But little Biff understands the situation at once, starts weeping because his dad cheats on his mum and runs away. And after that, nothing was as it was before. The boys have been having a little fun in town with some girls and return home in the middle of the night. Their mother is waiting for them and Biff goes, hello, Mum, we've brought you flowers. And she, bang, bang, deals out a box on the ear to each of them. To leave your dad alone in the restaurant just like that, get out of the house. And Biff chucks away the flowers and goes, okay, but before I've got to talk to him. Willie has, in the meantime, really left the coast of sanity behind him. He's in the garden and sowing seeds. Beetroot, salad, and he's talking loudly to imaginary Uncle Ben. I get 20,000 when I die. That's an offer you can't refuse, isn't it? And he goes, when Biff comes. We won't see each other again. I'm leaving, Dad. And what about your appointment with Bill Oliver tomorrow morning? That's a lie, Dad. There is no appointment. To hell with you if you leave now. You're doing me in. And they enter the house again, and the whole family witness as Biff puts a piece of rubber tube on the table and goes, oh, I'm doing you in, am I? And what is this, sir? And Willie goes, no idea, never seen that. And Biff goes, in this house, we have never said the truth for 5 minutes. I've been to prison because I lose every job, because I'm stealing, you know. We'll never be rich or bosses. And he starts to weep. And Willie is so touched by this that he goes, he likes me. He loves you. And imaginary Ben enters and goes, you know, I've given it a think and 20K is a fantastic offer. And he says, I need to go out once more, sorry. And the family hear the car starting with screeching tires and then crash. A little later, Willie lies 5 foot under and the family is gathered around his grave. And Linda goes, I don't get it. The house was paid for. He would have only needed a small income now. And Charlie goes, no man only needs a small income. And Biff, he was a happy man when he was building something. He didn't know himself. He should have done that as a job. And the mother is alone and goes, I don't have any tears for you, Willie. We are free now. And that, dear congregation, was Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. Vielen Dank.